Kitty appeared, and today for you I have my review of Fantastic Beasts and the Crimes of Grindelwald. And yeah, obviously there are going to be spoilers, so obviously if you have not seen the movie yet, I'd highly recommend go watch it and then come back and we can discuss. Anyways, yes, but for all the people who've seen it, I have one question for you all. What the heck was this movie anyways? Yeah, okay, so I will admit I am a huge Harry Potter fan. I have been a big fan of this series basically since I was in primary school. I loved Harry Potter. Like, again, it was just one of those franchises I will never forget because, again, it's my childhood. I'm, a very proud Hufflepuff. That's why I was so happy about Newt being, like, a main character being a Hufflepuff. And, yeah, I really enjoyed the first Fantastic Beasts movie, and I thought it was really good. Now, I have seen a lot of people think that The Crimes of Grindelwald was better than the first Fantastic Beasts movie, and honestly, I have to disagree because honestly, I felt like, for me anyways, that Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them was leagues better than this movie. This movie I had way too many problems with. Like, I will admit that I still kind of enjoyed this movie. There were some aspects that I did like when we actually got to see some of, obviously, the Fantastic Beasts, since these were what these movies were supposed to be about, is, it's still called Fantastic Beasts, so I feel like we should be seeing some Fantastic Beasts. So I did like those parts, like, especially, I'm not too sure what the beast was, or what they were called, because I don't think they really mentioned it in the movie, but obviously a picture here, they beast thing that, they have to wave that wee toy around, which was adorable, and also seeing the baby nifflers were adorable. And yeah, I really like that aspect. Also, like, it was visually really well done. Like, yeah, you definitely can tell this is a very, like, high budget movie, but the story and the editing and the character development is where things went, for me anyways. So basically, one of the things I kind of had a problem with when it came to this movie was definitely the editing. Like, there were times, especially some of the shots were really weird. Like, with times when you're, like, really, like, super close to, like, a character's face, and I'd be like, whoa, calm down, let's not go there. And also, I felt like, especially with the story, there was a lot of stuff I feel like we didn't get to see. Like, I feel like there were stuff that we should have seen in the movie that weren't in the movie. Like, I would have liked to have seen more of, like, why Queenie is now with Grindelwald, because, well, yeah, like, that bothered me mainly just because, like, Queenie was my favorite character in the first movie. Like, I love her, she's quirky, she's adorable, but in this movie, I don't know, the way they wrote her especially, I just did not really like. It's like she was a completely different, like, character from the first movie to the second movie. Like, it felt like very, like, okay, she's now this. Like, again, for me, I don't see why Queenie would put a enchantment spell on Jacob, because I know she obviously wanted to get married to him, but she knew fine well that can't be possible because of obviously the laws in America that, you can't, wizards and witches and muggles obviously can't get together. But I felt like it was kind of out of character for Queenie for her to put the enchantment on Jacob. Like, I feel like it would be more they just keep their relationship a secret. Also, like, what kind of was a bit weird was obviously explaining why, like, Jacob got his memories back, saying, oh, it's just because it only erased the bad memories, and I didn't really have any bad memories. There were obviously things that he said that obviously he forgot because obviously the stuff that happened in New York that were really bad, but he says he remembers everything else, and I'm just like, I don't like that. I feel like that's a very much like, that's convenient. I feel like there should have been a little more to how he got his memories back. Like, maybe there is a spell that you can like give memories back or something like that, instead of just being like, oh, it only really works if you have bad memories. Because I don't remember them ever saying that in like the Fantastic Beasts movie, like the first one, and that like that's how that worked. Like I don't ever remember them mentioning it, so I kind of feel like J.K. Rowling was kind of like sitting there going, how do I make Jacob remember? Oh, I'll just say that it's he only remembers, like, it's only for bad memories. But again, I felt like it kind of came out of nowhere. I felt like, again, because they didn't say, like, I can understand if they said it in the first movie, then I could, like, then it'd be like, oh, that makes sense. But no, they never really mention it, so I'm like, okay. But yeah, when it came for Queenie, like, obviously turning to Grindelwald's side, I was kind of like, okay, that was weird. Why is she going with Grindelwald? Like, even though she's seen the horrible things that he has done, that he is not really a great guy. Like, I know a lot of people are saying that she could be under the Imperium curse, which, again, like, I can kind of see where people are coming from. I kind of hope it's that, and that's why she's with him. But if not, then I don't know. It's just one of these things. I didn't also like the development of it, but again, like with the whole thing when we saw her again, you know, she enchanted Jacob, which again, as I stated, I don't really like. It was it annoyed the heck out of me. But yeah, I will admit, Jude Law as young Dumbledore, he did a really good job. I know when it was first announced, I saw a lot of people didn't think he would do a good job, but hey, look, I think he did an actually really good job as young Dumbledore. So yeah, kudos to obviously Jude Law. Also, alright, one thing, obviously how they're setting up Grindelwald is that he is a lot different from Voldemort. He is definitely, you know, he stated that he doesn't really hate muggles or no mages or can't spells. Like, what? Like, really, JK? Like, cat spells? Like, really? That's what some people call non-magical people? Like, muggles is just so much better, and, well, I mean, no mages are not really that great either, because it's basically just saying you got no magic. But yeah, but I think, to be fair, I'd rather be called a no mage than a can't spell, because I feel like you're more teasing me that I can't spell words, then I can actually, you know, cast a spell. But, yeah, sorry, but we tumbled there. When it comes to Grindelwald, he's obviously very different from Voldemort. Like, he's more, you know, like, charismatic, he can easily manipulate you. But for me, I don't really get that from, like, Johnny Depp's performance. Like, because the whole point of Grindelwald was that he can really like charm people, and he can basically make it sound like he's doing good in the world. But I don't know, just the way it is, he gives off a more like, this is definitely the bad guy, you should not trust this dude at any cost. But that's just me. But yeah, also, like, there's other things that kind of bother me, like, also, Lita Lestrange's character, I felt like they shouldn't have killed her off so soon. I feel like if they wanted to kill her off, I think they should at least wait until the third movie, because I feel like we were just getting to properly know Alita. So I was like, really, we're gonna kill her off here? And also, again, with when I was talking about, like, editing, like, or at least stuff I feel like we missed out. Like, it is very clear that Lolita has a thing for Newt, and it's clear that I think Newt kind of also had a thing for her too, at least back when they were in Hogwarts. But I guess something happened, and obviously they both didn't get together, but then Lolita ends up getting with Newt's brother Theseus, which I'm just like, what? Like, why did they get together? That's what I want to know. We didn't really get the whole, why is she with Theseus? Like, because I feel like it was more like, Leto was just one day like, well, I can't get Newt, so I might as well get his brother, because at least close to genetics, I guess? But I don't know, I feel like there should have been a bit more of why Lolita was with Theseus, and it was kind of obvious that Lolita still liked Newt, because obviously in that scene where she's about to die and she says, "I love you," it was obviously directed to Newt. It wasn't directed to Theseus, I don't think, anyways. But yeah, I felt like she died too early. I feel like she could have had more story. We could have gotten more about that, especially with like the relationship between her and Newt. Okay, and another thing kind of found weird was we learned at the end of the movie that Credence is a Dumbledore, that he is related to Dumbledore, which, what? Why? Huh? When? Who? Huh? Like, that confused me. I felt like it would have been better if it turned out that he was a little strange. I feel like him being a Dumbledore doesn't make much sense. Like, why would there be a brother that even Dumbledore doesn't know? Like, I think it's pretty much established that I think the Dumbledore family is not exactly the best family, but there's still like that part. And also, I don't know if they were trying to imply that like they were supposed to be on the Titanic or something, but yeah, but basically, yeah. And also the reveal that basically Lolita killed her brother was a bit strange too, and obviously accidentally grabbing Credence instead. So again, that's also another thing. It's like, why would the Dumbledores be on this boat? Like, what were they doing there? Or like, again, it's very, like, I'm still trying to piece it in my mind how Credence could be a Dumbledore. Like, is he a half Dumbledore? Was Dumbledore's dad kind of, well, promiscuous? Did he end up having a child with another woman? Like, what happened there? Like, it's just, I think that might be the case, because there's no way that Dumbledore wouldn't know he has a little brother, that he might, it would have made sense if maybe Dumbledore thought his little brother died on that ship. But, yeah, so I feel like it's probably going to be that case, that maybe that's what it is, that he is a Dumbledore in that sense, but yeah. Okay, so another thing I want to bring up is, what was the point of Nagini being in this movie? Like, really, she was hardly there, or like, she hardly spoke, like, she was kind of just there. Like, I feel like if you're, again, with the whole thing about, oh, Nagini was originally a woman, but then obviously it got this blood curse that basically one day she's going to eternally, like, stay a snake forever. Yeah, but the thing is with Nagini is, I don't know how she would have, you know, came from being this to Voldemort's pet. Because again, was it just because after she turned into a snake, like, Voldemort's the only one who can understand her? But I still feel like there should be more, like, you know, like, influence there. I feel like it was very thrown in, the fact that Nagini used to be a human. Because again, there was no real evidence that she was before, especially like in the Harry Potter universe. I feel like you shouldn't just throw in stuff just to be like, by the way, guys, this snake was actually a human before, even though we had no like mention of this like in the movies or in the books. So yeah, that's a thing. So yeah, it's just one of these things where, again, I feel like they didn't really need to have Nagini in the movie. She served really no purpose than just being with Credence and just being there to guest support him. But again, I don't know, she doesn't really have any like memorable lines. She didn't really talk much to have any really memorable lines. And yeah, it's just, again, it's one of these things where I'm like, what was the point in Nagini? But yeah, yeah. Also, another character I really want to talk about is Tina. Again, feel like she didn't really get to do much in this movie. She, again, was just kind of there. Like, obviously, you know, she left because she thought that Newt got with Lolita because there was a misprint or something in the magazine. But, yeah, again, I feel like Tina just definitely didn't really have much to do in this movie, and I was just like, okay. But yeah, this whole movie was just a mess, like, but I do see where they're going for. I feel like this movie was definitely a filler movie, as I would think. It is a movie trying to set things up so that there's more of a more interesting plot in the next movie. So probably the third movie we might step up a bit, but again, I do feel like, you know, this movie was definitely filler, and I feel like once all 5 movies are out, I don't think I'm going to really watch the second one again afterwards. I think I might just skip if that's the case. But yeah, I just also when J.K. Rowling obviously announced that there was going to be 5 movies, she also explained that it's going to basically take part from 1926 to 1945, which obviously is the year that obviously when Grindelwald dies after having the battle with Dumbledore. So yeah, it's just one of those, okay. But again, they had these two, so they had Fantastic Beasts happen in 1926, but they had Crimes of Grindelwald basically happen 6 months after, but it's in 1927. But the way the date works, basically, yeah, it's been 6 months or around about that since it. And I'm like, I feel like if these are going to be 5 movies, I feel like we should have a bit more of a time skip. Especially if the last movie is supposed to take place in 1945. So yeah. Also, another thing. There's a thing I got really annoyed with was that basically McGonagall was in this movie as a Hogwarts professor, even though she's not supposed to be born yet. She wasn't I can't remember the exact date, but she was born in, I think, 1936. Obviously, if I got it wrong, put a link here. I'll put, obviously, a thing here. But she wasn't born until around at least the 1930s. The movie, again, takes place in 1927, so why is she a grown woman teaching at Hogwarts when she's not even supposed to be born yet? It makes no sense. And of course, I've seen people say, oh, it could be McGonagall's mom. But no, they literally state that this is Professor McGonagall. There's no ifs, whats, or buts. So I feel like this was kind of just J.K. Rowling's way of just saying, hey guys, look, it's McGonagall. Remember McGonagall? Yeah, so I feel like it was a bit okay, that was out of place for, obviously, for her to be there. Yeah, it just, again, I feel like J.K. Rowling needs to really sit down and look at her canon before
properly writing a screenplay. I also feel like she's not that good at writing a screenplay, to be honest. I feel like that's where she's at her weakest, and I feel like she needs to learn proper what she needs to do. And also, I feel like she should have maybe made the Fantastic Beasts series into a book series. I feel like that would have been a lot better, and that way she can expand on stuff like character development, world building, etc., etc. Because, you know, like in the Harry Potter series, if a movie did something wrong and we felt like wasn't well done, then we could be like, oh, we can read the books. There we go. But with Fantastic Beasts, there's no book that we can go to and be like, ah, that makes more sense. I mean, obviously we have the screenplays, but they don't really add anything. So yeah, this movie just kind of bothers me. I don't think it's that good. I do like some parts, like again, I much prefer, you know, when the film was obviously more about the Fantastic Beasts, and obviously I love Newt Scamander, and it's just, I'm sorry, this movie bothered me, and I didn't really like the way that it went. Like, again, as I said, I think it's definitely a filler movie, but just because it's a filler movie doesn't mean that you can't make it enjoyable. And yeah, so yeah, it's just, there's some things that are just bother me, and yeah, I will obviously watch the third Fantastic Beasts movie, obviously whenever that comes out, but for now, Crimes of Grindelwald gets a thumb down from me. Hey, it's me, a wild kitty, appeared here in the future, basically obviously editing this video for you guys. So yeah, there's a bit I realized I didn't really talk about in this video that I do really want to talk about, and basically it's a bit later in the night now, and obviously I don't really have time to film a bit extra, so I thought, why not just quickly do this? And also it gives me an excuse to show off the new talk sprites that I got, that I commissioned the same artist from before, but they changed their name. I think their name is Wontan. I think that's now what they're called. If not, obviously here is their things, and obviously I will leave a link down in the description so that you can find them. But yes, anyways, what I wanted to talk about in this little section is the movie was kind of boring. Like, my god, I don't think I've ever been so bored in my life when it came to like a Harry Potter movie or like any movie in general. Like, because really nothing happened in this movie. Like, as I stated before in the video, this movie was very filler, and yeah, I think again it's trying to set up a lot of different like plot points and stuff, but honestly guys, I've again never been so bored. Like, I think I even remember sitting in my seats in the cinema being like, is this not over yet? Like, I don't know why, but it was just so boring to me. Like, honestly, I don't know how. Like, again, I know I can kind of see it being a filler movie, but a filler movie doesn't have to be so boring. But yeah, obviously, back to Past Katie.
Anyways, guys, tell me down in the comments, like, what did you think of this movie? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Were you kind of just like, meh? Or were you just like, I have no idea what the fuck just happened in this movie? But yeah, anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. Remember to like and subscribe for more fandom content than you can shake a stick at. And see ya!